I've had more prayer lines on street corners better than altars. I've had people pull over their cars, get out, not ask my name, not ask what I'm doing, and walk right up to me and say, will you pray for me?
Come on. Hey guys, I hope you're having an amazing Thursday or whatever day you are watching this. We have this week Kurt Wilson. I've known Kurt for years. He's been a huge part of Iris. He runs our base in St. Louis and is an amazing man, an amazing leader. You're gonna really enjoy this conversation. And on top of that, for those of you guys who've been waiting, we have online training coming up September 8th. And just like always, for you guys, down in the description, you'll see a link for 10 bucks off. That's so cheap. You're welcome. We love you. Enjoy this episode with Kurt Wilson.
Welcome back to another episode of the Iris Global Green Room. I'm here with my good friend, pastor, minister, city leader.
Sure.
Kurt Wilson. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man.
Kurt and his amazing wife, Brooke, run an Iris base in America.
Come on, let's go America.
But why aren't there a lot of Iris bases in America?
Because people want to go to the nations and go to the dirt, but they don't want to go to the neighborhoods and the hard places and believe God can do in America.
Come on.
What he can do in all the other places.
God wants to touch the cities
He
of
does.
America.
Neighborhoods, and come on.
He does.
He does.
He does. And you guys have been really faithfully serving for, I don't know, how long have you?
10 years we've been back from Mozambique.
Yep.
10 years.
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis.
And you've gone back and forth. You've run schools.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do, if it's okay, by the way, how are you?
I'm doing well.
It's good to see you.
The suit jacket, man. It's messing me up.
I really wanted to show you up today. That was the
I got
reality.
my best black T-shirt on. That's all I got.
Dude, I have a wedding. I'm literally going to leave this and then just fire off down the road to our conference for like an hour, and then I got to book it to a wedding. Who does a wedding on a Thursday?
I think it's the wrong day, yes.
Right?
Cheaper, maybe?
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
But I got married in Vegas, so what can I say?
You did?
Yeah.
I know this story.
Yeah,
I totally forgot.
Yeah, we got married in Vegas, so we didn't want to plan a wedding and just go to Vegas and get married, and 18 years later, we're still married, so.
18 years?
18 years.
Did people think that your wife was pregnant? That's why you did the whole Vegas wedding?
I don't think they thought that. They just knew we're kind of crazy and we don't want to plan a wedding and let's go to Vegas.
Dude, it's so much cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Like so much
Spend it on the honeymoon instead of the event.
Dude, Kurt, you get an attaboy for that.
That's it for the green room, guys.
I am over, listen, not the wedding I'm going to today. You do whatever you want. I'm over like these exorbitantly expensive weddings.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, listen, if you got a ton of money and your parents pay, like whatever, but I would rather like take that money and put it into a house or
live life.
Yeah. Like you're going to get married. You're going to be married. Like whether you do a big one or a small one, you're still, at the end of the day, it's marriage.
It's true.
Yeah. Moosey and I, we spent $1,200 on our wedding and honeymoon combined. Boo. Yeah. I don't know if that says that I'm just cheap. At the time, we just didn't have any money.
You were a thrifty missionary, probably.
Dude, we were thriftionaries. Yeah, we were super thrifty. No, we actually didn't have any. I think we had $400 when I proposed to her, like between the two of us, combined. So we just didn't have money, but God provided. We had an amazing wedding, amazing. I almost said funeral. No, it wasn't. We had an amazing honeymoon. Yeah, in Florida, we just had so much fun. Yeah. Anyway. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Okay. Tell the people where you're at.
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and we are...
Why? Gosh.
Because I'm from St. Louis, so it's like my hometown. And I thought everyone like loved their hometown. I just burn with passion to see Jesus do something. And I'm like defiant in the fact like the world isn't going to get the last word over my city. Like Jesus has a plan and a purpose. And if he can do it in my city, because, there's always places you think, oh, God, do it there, do it there, do it in Mozambique. But I'm like, why not St. Louis?
Why not?
And so that's what we're going after, to see the church come together to answer Jesus' prayer in John 17, to be unified so that the world would know. So in a divided city, could a united church show what Jesus looks like and how we're supposed to love one another.
Yeah.
And could he bring people from every denomination together? Because eventually it's going to bring every tribe, tongue, and nation around the throne.
Yeah.
So can we show the world? Can we show the city? It's the gateway city. We have the arch, the iconic arch, and so it's the gateway city where things that happen there are supposed to go to the nation and the nations. And so we're just there pioneering so that God would do something, unite his people, and people would say, we don't know what happened, but God showed up.
So how do you go to Mozambique, right? Get trained in missions, and then you're like, because I think a lot of people look at Iris, they look at missions.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to plant a base, and we're going to have missionaries, and we're going to be doing A, B, and C. Like you have that call, you've done it, you've served the poor,
right?
But you're like, no, the Lord has called me to unite the church, amongst a lot of other things.
Variety of
but
things.
when I talk to you, that's the cry of your heart, right? So, what does that look like? Because that's not like, hey, you want to come and feed people, or you want, which you do all of those things. You're like, I'm uniting the church.
Right.
Like, how do I get behind that?
Yeah. So, oh man, without Iris, well, first of all, it started because if God could speak to Mama Heidi, do you want a nation?
Yeah.
I felt maybe I could have a city. I didn't maybe have faith for a nation 12 years ago or 13 years ago, but I was like, man, if she can have a nation, maybe I could have a city. And if I could lay down my life for a city, what would that look like? And so coming back from Mozambique and seeing God do the impossible, do the miraculous, it was just like, God, we're going to plant ourselves in this city. I'm from here. My wife's from the West Coast. We met in Florida, so it really is the mission field to her. It's home to me, so it's kind of this weird mix. But it was just like, man, the church, we're so divided. Like all denominations, geographically, we're divided. Historically, we're divided. Racially, we're divided. There's just barriers and boundaries. And so the Iris part of what we did is we spent 10 months. The Lord told me if I wanted the city, I needed a prayer walk every neighborhood of our city. And so I didn't know how many that was, even though I'm from there. There's 79 distinct neighborhoods in the city proper. And so me and a few friends, just like Joshua and Caleb, to go scout the land, we said we're going to prayer walk every neighborhood. And we don't even know why, and we don't even know what God's going to do. And we're just going to begin to pray through the land and see what the Lord wants to do, because everywhere our feet go belong to Jesus. And here's the thing, in missions overseas, we go to the Samarias where people are like, oh, don't go there, right? Like Iris is known for like the trash dump, and you name it, like we go to those places. So I'm like, in America, there's like in our city, there's like the north side of town. People don't go there. You go around, you don't go through. So I'm like, we're going to start showing up where no one looks like us, where we're not supposed to be there, and just begin to cry out to God. No one's watching, no one's looking, no one knows what we're doing. And we're just going to sow seeds and be faithful and follow whatever the Lord has for us. And so, when I was 18, I said yes to Jesus for missions for my life. And I thought, I've been all around the world, but I thought it would be in the nations. But there's something that burns in me for America. I mean, the first time me and you actually had like a real conversation in 2017 in Pimba, the Mozambique boys had just thrown you in the pool. You just drank a Coca-Cola. You were all like amped up, and we sat down and talked for a few minutes because I was just doing things in America. You were just kind of rolling in Iris, and we're getting updated like what I was even doing. And that was when I said, man, like we got to go across America. Like we got to do something in America. Like what we've experienced in the nations, we got to release this in America. And so it's looked like a lot of different things, but that's
Summer tour.
Yeah, summer tour.
Maddie was on summer tour.
He was. He drove. I did not drive. You drove all those miles, preached every night. You asked me to drive, and I told you no.
You did?
Yes. You said, Kurt, would you like please drive for a little bit? The truck and the trailer. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to do it, Will. And I don't know why I didn't drive, man. You would minister for 4 hours. We would drive overnight. We were sleeping in who knows where. And I said no to you.
I don't remember that. It was probably like wisdom.
Yeah.
I did not. That was nuts. We had a van and a truck and a trailer.
That was it.
And we just went. How many? Was it 2 weeks?
It was basically 2 weeks with like 2 days off. I think 10 stops from San Fran all the way up to Missouri, all the way to California.
Yeah. Did we go through Canada a little bit too? That first one, or
not
the
second one? Yeah. And so,
summer tour.
Just went for it.
Yeah, I'm so happy we're not doing that anymore.
Especially that way. That was as crazy. That was as Africa style bush as it could ever be.
We stayed in people's houses. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great, but like chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Is on a shoestring of a shoestring of a shoestring.
Yeah, because we don't want to charge anybody.
Yeah.
Right? I think I asked churches to pay, what was it, like $500?
Yeah, that was it. Like, can you at least give us $500 so we can get to the next
so
town?
we can get to the place,
right.
yeah, and feed. How many did we have on the, Maddie, do you remember how many people we had?
A few hundred each night, I think.
No, like how many on the tour? Was it 16, 14?
It was
It was at least 14.
yeah.
Yeah.
We picked up people along the way. We left people along the way. Yeah.
God, what were we thinking?
We were crazy, and it was fun.
I just remember that we were driving in the middle of the night. Were you driving, Matt?
Yeah, Matt was driving.
And there was a deer. What town were we in?
We were on the way to Kansas from St. Louis.
Yes.
And we decided, hey, we're not going to sleep in St. Louis tonight. Which
I decided.
which I was bummed about because I was actually home for a moment, and then we didn't get to sleep in my own bed. But then we wanted to get to Kansas so we could rest. And
Yeah,
so
it was like, let's get there so we can rest.
have a real day off.
Yeah.
And you guys, were driving. We were all sleeping, and
I was so stupid.
the deer were.
Matt tried to warn. I remember Matt, who's off camera, who does a lot of the editing. Maddie, he's like, dude, I don't know if this is smart. And I was like, I'm doing it. My wife yelled at me for that. I just want to apologize, Matt. I should have listened to you. But I remember it was like 2 a.m, something like that, 4 a.m. We're going down the highway.
Well, we didn't end the meeting till 11. We had an 8-hour drive to the next city.
I drove. Did
Yeah.
I drive? I drove.
You did drive.
Yeah. And
because
Matt.
I wouldn't drive.
Yes. And I just remember like in the middle of some city, I don't remember which one it was, where you would never expect to see a deer.
Yeah.
There it is standing. It wasn't like a highway. It was like a ramp on a highway, so pavement on both sides. And
Yeah.
it was just like there in
hanging
the
out.
middle of this, of the road.
He wasn't panting for the water.
No, he was not.
Coming after you.
He wanted that sweet summer tour.
The hood
bumper.
ornament. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't hit him.
He wanted
Yeah.
the T-shirt.
No, we didn't hit him. Gosh, it was so much fun. We had those. If you saw us on summer tour, let us know because we met so many incredible
Man, it
people.
was a powerful time.
But dude, exhausting. The next time we did it with RVs.
Yeah.
Still equally exhausting.
I think I slept for a week after the first one.
Yeah.
I was like so tired.
Yeah. The first one I did was I feel like I'm going to get the days 70 something days, 59 meetings in like 70 something days. And my wife swore that she would never do that again.
But she came for the
Was she in the whole one? I
not the
think she just
whole
came for
portion,
part,
and your kids and had the whole fam.
But dude, it's psychopath stuff. But God moves, and we get to see so many. Like it is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. But yeah, I'm going to leave that to the younger people from now on.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you're in St. Louis.
In St. Louis.
And you are doing your best to bring the church together.
Right.
Okay, what is the most difficult thing you face? What's the most, as you're trying to bring the church together?
One of the hardest parts is you're always offending someone, either by who you invite or by who you don't invite. And so, we just did 72 hours of worship and prayer nonstop. And if you invite this worship team that has a beef with this pastor or whatever, or you didn't invite this prayer leader, everyone gets kind of territorial in who you didn't invite. But we spend hours upon hours building relationships, building bridges, like year round at tables like this, over coffee, over meals.
Yeah.
And so you can only do so much, but you're always making someone upset. Or everyone has a critique how the prayer movement, like what you're doing should be different, but they're not doing it.
Right.
So they want to tell you how to do it, but there is no alternative in the city where you can say like, okay, let me learn. I want to learn. Like if I can make it better, let me make it better. But like this is what we got. This is what we're doing. We're giving everything to this. And so you never feel like you're doing it right. You feel like, there's criticism for sure.
Yeah.
And then it's prayer. So after you're done, you don't know, like you did the thing, but are you moving forward? Is it looking more like Jesus? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I got to ask you a question. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm not the best like prayer.
Right.
I'm going to admit that. People think I pray all day. I do, but I don't like sit down and like you are very much like an intercessor prayer.
Right.
Okay. One of the things I'm going to just call myself out. I like to see the fruit. right? Like if I go and do a crusade,
Right.
or if I go and do an event, like I can, there was this many miracles, or there was this many salvations, right? When you like gather people together for worship and prayer, I know that the presence of God is there. I know it brings him joy. But like, how do you know whether it's done the thing that the Lord set you out to do? Because I've been to so many prayer meetings where like the Lord's called us, and I get there, I'm like, I don't even know if the Lord's here.
Right.
Like I don't even know if you know the Lord. You know, how do you at the end of it, besides just your obedience?
Right. Well, obviously obedience is the first part. Like God will give us a vision that we go after, and a lot of times we're adding something new or we're doing something that hasn't been done. So the fact we can even do what we're doing, the fact like this year we could do 72 nonstop hours and have worship teams and prayer leaders lead 72 hours, because in 2017 I was leading a prayer gathering for a year for an hour every Wednesday, and we could barely get 5 people together.
Wow.
And nobody would come, and it was like the weird, like we're all weird prayer people, but it was like the weird prayer people that I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they are today. They just like dropped in and there they were. And so the fact like you can actually do what God's called you to do and people show up. But for me, like, man, it's Luke 10. We pray and we go, because the harvest is plentiful, but we actually answer our own prayer and we go do the thing. And so for me, when I hear, okay, we just did this event and 6 months later, this church, this group, they're prayer walking in their neighborhood, and they never did it until they did it with us on that day when we did it, then I know, okay, they're being activated, they're being motivated. God's like taking what we've received in this heart, and now we're seeing other people walk it out in their own context. And that's where I feel like I know God's doing something. Some of the stuff we're doing now, I'm not even at all of it, but I would, if I tried to close it down tomorrow, it wouldn't stop, because the people are just burning for it. You know what I mean? They're going to go do it because they've experienced it. And so you don't always get those immediate results, but then sometimes you get the headline in the paper where the crime statistic that you've been contending for is headed in a different direction, that St. Louis isn't in the top 10 most dangerous cities anymore. And you get these little glimpses or these signposts, I would say, that like, no, just like keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, because like everyone said this can never change, but you're starting to see in the natural, like there's like things are cracking, things are breaking. I mean, like I said, we prayed for a year. No pastors came to that gathering, and now I got pastors coming in 5 a.m. They're like, I'm like, I want you to come lead prayer during the 72 hours. They sign up for 5 a.m. to come lead that set, you know. And I know what a pastor's life is like. I know for them to give up that time to be there to pray with us and contend for the city, that God's doing something that they weren't with me years ago. You know, some of them, there's like just God's moving people into places, and not only that, but just prayers like rising, not just in what we do, but across the city, and pastors leading prayer gatherings. And so I feel like we're kind of like a catalyst, like a John the Baptist, to say, let's get moving, let's get going, let's pave a way.
Okay, I want you to treat me like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, that encountered Jesus through, you know, the big move, whatever God's doing. Right. They want to go and be used by God. Tell me why and how I should invest in prayer, beyond just asking God to do things for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at Jesus' life, even like he's headed to the cross to give up his life, and what does he spend his time doing before he goes? He goes into the garden to pray. And there's just, I just feel like you're never going to fully do what you're called to do without that secret place, and without prayer, and without seeking Jesus. I mean, he's just, when you pray, you know, not if, but when you pray, when you seek the Lord, when you shut the door, when you, and how can we even know what to do without praying?
Okay, so like, I spent a lot of time in youth movements, right? It's hard to get them to pray. Yeah. It's very easy to get them to worship.
Right. Worship is easy.
So
well, I mean, in general, worship, you call a worship gathering anywhere, you're going to have probably 10 times the people you would if you call a prayer gathering.
Right. So listen, I pray when I worship.
Yeah.
Why should I pray for a city? I should just worship over a city.
Yeah. Well, I always look to Nehemiah. So he was in the king's palace, not in his city. He heard Jerusalem's broken, it's destroyed, the walls are destroyed. And he goes into the secret place and he just weeps before the Lord, fasted and prayed like, God, I want you. I need strength to rebuild the city. I want to see it rebuilt. And in that place is where he got his instructions, he got his favor, he got his marching orders to go see the impossible happen, in the natural. And there's just something in that place of prayer.
Are you an intercessor? Would you take that?
I would probably take that title. I don't really like titles. I just like, but I obviously am. And I didn't really know that I was. It came out of desperation years and years ago, being part of a church plant and wanting to see God move. And I didn't know what to do. And the Lord just said, come to the church on Sunday mornings from 4 to 6 and put on worship music and just seek me. And I just began to go into that place by myself or just a few people and just cry out to God. Because I had the heart for the city, and it's weird because I said yes to missions and somehow I become like the prayer person.
Yeah.
And even in Iris, it's weird because like we wouldn't be known really for intercession probably, right? We're known for all these other things. Like we're known for intimacy, but intercession, probably most people wouldn't think like Iris is like intercessors,
Right. Heidi is in prayer
Yeah.
all day long, like constantly.
But from a public perspective,
yeah.
they're going to see us as all these other things. So I fell into prayer partly because I couldn't get the church to come together any other way. And so it was by necessity, by design, by God's plan. It's like, see when we worship, like we can have different styles and be okay. Like, but when we preach, like different people come together and like different, the Presbyterian with the charismatic,
Right.
like there's this big gap. But in prayer, there's like a heart level that you can't deny. And whether I'm loud or whether it's silent, after a while, like if I prayed with you, I'm going to know within like 10 minutes what your heart is. You can't fake it. You could like fake it on a stage and just minister to me. But like if we're going to pray together, whatever's in there is going to come out. And so it creates this safer place for the body to come together. But I don't want us just to come together and pray. Like I want us to come together and be sent. But, a place of unity, it needs a place. Like on Pentecost, they were in a place.
Right.
And the Lutheran church, the Catholic church, the Pentecostal church, they all have a place that's like their place in their world and their culture on Sunday. But you need a place that's like, this is like the kingdom, the church to come together, that it's no one's but the Lord's. Because then it's like our walls can come down a little bit. We can be, we can worship. I can be screaming or praying loud and someone can be silent on their knees and it's okay because we're the body expressing our heart to the Lord. And so prayer is one of the things you just got to keep, it's weird. You got to keep doing it. And then it's like it fuels itself. It's like kind of like going to the gym. You don't want to go to the gym, but you keep working out and you keep eating right. And all of a sudden a month later you realize, man, stuff's happening in me. And I feel like prayer's that way as well. It's like, man, we prayed for this 6 months ago and we just saw this happen,
Yeah.
And then it fuels it like, okay, Lord, we're going to just keep. I wouldn't know I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know a vision. I wouldn't know the plan. I wouldn't know the next steps to take. I wouldn't. I got no blueprint. Like it's, Lord, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want our team to do? Where do you want us to go? What pastor do you want us to meet with? Like, who do we need to invite to lead? Who do we need to invite for this? Like everything, the whole thing is like, God, it's got to be you.
Yeah.
It's got to be you.
And there's favor that has just been poured out
Yeah.
over you guys in the season. And you guys have been plowing. You were just given access to.
We were given access. So for years and years, I would go downtown to the Arch in St. Louis, the landmark there.
Yeah.
Put on the headphones and just worship and cry out to God, saying, there was one building there that the top floor used to be a revolving restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that would be amazing prayer space. It's like 360 and you'd be praying over the city. So I would just be like, Lord, it'd be amazing if we could have that. And a couple of years ago, we decided we wanted to do 50 hours of nonstop worship and prayer. So we've never done more. We've never done 24. We never did 12, but the Lord laid on our heart, we're going to do 50 nonstop hours of prayer. And also we're going to send out prayer walking teams at the same time in the midst of this. And we want to be downtown St. Louis because we've really been inspired by the 1857 businessman revival in New York City, Jeremiah Lamphere.
What?
He was
what did you just say?
1857 New York City. Come on, man.
You take it to like an intercessor to find some like rogue
no.
spiritual movement that I've
you got to know about this.
I want to hear
it's
about
a big thing.
Tell me.
1857.
I love you, dude.
Jeremiah Lamphere. He was like a business guy, but sent as a missionary. And he's like trying to do evangelism. He's trying to, in New York City, trying to reach all these people. And he has access to some hall or some church. And he was part of an organization that sent him there. And so he decides that we're going to call a noontime prayer gathering and we're going to invite business leaders. And back in his day, he printed like 40,000 flyers to give out. Like everyone come to this prayer gathering. And so he does that, the date's set, and he opens up the hall, he goes to pray, and I might get the numbers wrong, but he prays for like a half an hour and no one comes. And then like the last half an hour, a few people come. Does it again the next week, does it again the next week. Soon they began like filling that hall, and soon it was seen in New York City, they'd put a thing on the door, hey, we're at the prayer gathering, business is shut down, we'll be back when it's over. And they'd pray for an hour, they had this whole structure of how they kept it. And they were crying out for souls, and eventually, it couldn't be, they were like in 3 places in one building, then it spread to other buildings.
Wow. And
like a mom would be crying out, like, I need my son to be saved. And the son would be in the same gathering and wouldn't even know it and was getting saved.
Stop.
And these sailors were coming into the ports of New York City on ships, and they were getting under the conviction of the Holy Spirit on the ship, and they were like getting on their knees and repenting and giving their life to the Lord. And so it began to spread across New York. So many people came to Jesus in this. I forgot the number, but they couldn't baptize them fast enough in the church. They went to the Hudson River. It was frozen. They cut holes in it in the winter, and they're baptizing people. And it just began to spread. It actually spread to St. Louis. It spread all the way to Portland. And so in
What was this called?
It's called the Businessman or the Layman's Prayer Revival from 1857. But a lot of souls were saved because one of the markers of it is they're praying for salvation. And so it wasn't even like they were like, hey, we're going to pray and then we're all going to hit the streets for evangelism. It was just like God was. And it just multiplied and it spread. And so years and years ago, that really inspired us to call the prayer gathering that no one came to for a year. In fact, when God called us to call it, there was like an anniversary of it when we started praying for a year. So I thought, man, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to pray and everyone's going to come and we're going to see it again, God. And really, God was just testing us, like, how long are you going to walk this thing out?
Yeah.
Like, how long are you going to contend and believe and go for it? And it was out of that we began to prayer walk the neighborhoods. But because of that, when we did the 50 hours, we felt like we want to be downtown because it was downtown New York. What if God would do something in downtown St. Louis? But being in a downtown place, people don't come downtown St. Louis unless they come to a baseball game or a hockey game because crime or whatever issues, parking. And so you're already at a disadvantage, like, well, we're not going to go down there. And then where are you going to find a place to gather people in prayer, you know? So we didn't know where we were going to be. We already had it promoted. Yeah, on this date, we're going to be 50 hours. We don't know where we're going to be, but join us. And we were 6 weeks away from the event. And I ran into some ministry friends, and they said, Kurt, we're so excited, 50 hours of nonstop worship and prayer for our city. Where are we going to be? And I said, I don't know. And they go, where do you want to be? I said, I want to be downtown. And they said, oh, you need to meet the owner of this building. There's a man that owns a financial business. He's got a building downtown. It's 22 stories. It sits next to the historic courthouse, looks into Busch Stadium where the Cardinals play, and you can see the arch from it. You should meet with him. And I'm like, oh, that's great, but I don't know him. But I said, actually, I'm leaving right now from my office to go prayer walk downtown to ask the Lord where we're supposed to be in 6 weeks. And I'm going to go pray over that building. So me and a couple friends, we go down there, we pray around the building. My buddy's like, this is it, man. We're going to get the parking here. I can already see it. He's like, just encouraging me. He's like my Barnabas, that walked all the neighborhoods with me. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't have faith for it right now, but we'll see. Leave that gathering, get a message from the friend saying, hey, we talked to the owner of the building. He wants you to talk to his dad and cast a vision. And if he's up for it, then he'll pass the information along to his son. So I'm like, okay. They're like, you should reach out to him and see when he's available. So I prayer walked. An hour later, I text this guy that I don't know, who's high financial, high caliber, busy person. And I got this crazy prayer idea, right? I'm like, hey, we're talking about this event using your building. When can I talk to you? He's like, can you talk in 10 minutes? So 10 minutes later, he calls me, and I got to pitch this idea. Like, yeah, we want to bring the city together. We want to pray. It's connected to 1857. We want to be downtown. We've been doing this thing for years of pray for the Lou. The nickname of St. Louis is the Lou, so it's pray for the Lou.
Yeah.
And he said, well, man, it sounds like you need a church building or something, man. We're like an office building, and people are working, and I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy. And I was like, well, honestly, man, I don't know. I didn't necessarily try to find you. And it also, a part of that thing was 3 months before, another ministry friend, I'd reached out to him. I said, hey, I want to pray downtown. Do you know any people? He had mentioned the same owner, and I didn't know, and I didn't follow up on it because I didn't have a connection. So I had 2 different people say, you got to talk to this one person. And so I tell the dad, like, I'm just like, man, I just want to see if anything's here. If it's not, I understand.
And this guy's a believer?
Believer, yes.
Okay.
So the important part of the story, they're both believers. So he said, you know what? It's not my building anyway. It's my son's. I'll just see what he says. And so that was like, all that happened on a Monday. So Tuesday, next day, had a board meeting late, so I'm leaving that, just ready to get home, see the kids. I get a message from the dad saying, hey, man, I got a few more questions, but I leave for India in the morning, so you got to call me right now. So I'm calling him, and I'm like, hey, he's like, you're going to have like drums in there and bass? Is it going to be noisy? It's like a business. I'm like, well, we could do acoustic during the day, and, I'm trying to talk through these things, and he's like, man, I don't know, man. Sounds like you need like a church building or something. I'm like, I'm open to suggestions, but honestly, I didn't try to find you guys. I just got to see if there's something here from the Lord. If not, maybe for the future.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let me get a hold of Paul, which is the owner. He's like, let me get a hold of him. And man, I can't get a hold of him. And he texts me back like an hour and a half later. He's like, all right, I'll leave for India tomorrow, but you can meet him at the building next Monday and go talk to him. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, a week later, me and a small part of my team go to this 22-story, $22 million office building, beautiful lobby, sign in at the front desk and security. They tell us go up to the 17th floor. We go up there. You're signing on the iPad. They're printing out your name badge, and owners on the phone. And the people that connected us came to just to make the connection. And he's like, hold on, guys. Let me put my stuff down. Let's go in the boardroom. So we go in the boardroom, long boardroom table, panoramic view of the city, overlooking it. We sit down at the boardroom table. All my team sits on that side. Me and the owner sit on this side. And I'm like, thanks a lot, guys. And he goes, well, Kurt, I've heard some of your vision, but just give me 5 minutes, man. Like, what do you want to see? What do you want to do? And I'm like, man, we want to bring the city together. We want to bring the churches together. We want to pray in the heart of our city. I said, the NFL team, the Rams, left St. Louis years ago, and we got all this settlement money from the NFL. And I must have said something like, we got all this money, but no one knows how to fix all the problems. Only Jesus can fix the problems.
Time out. Settlement money. Like, explain this to me.
So,
can you just...
Yeah, I'll try to. So we had the NFL Rams.
Mm-hmm.
They left. They broke some contracts.
Okay.
So the NFL had to pay St. Louis millions of dollars because they left. So then the city has these millions of dollars to spend across the city, but everyone doesn't have faith that they can really spend it in a way that'll make a difference, help crime, develop downtown.
Okay.
So somehow I flippantly just say, the world doesn't even have an answer, even though we have all these resources, but we want Jesus to do something.
Come on.
Is what I said to him. And so then he proceeds, so I share my heart, and then he goes, I bought this building right before COVID, and he said, like, this office, man, was being supplemented by other offices. Everyone's leaving downtown, but Jesus said everyone's running away from downtown. We're supposed to run to it. And that's why I got this building. And he said, I agree with you, Kurt. Only Jesus can do what we want to see. And he said, let me go show you what I got and see if it'll work for you.
Is this the son or the father?
Now we're working with the son,
okay.
The owner.
How old, like?
He's probably 40s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our age?
Yeah.
How old are you?
46.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm younger than you.
I know.
Finally.
I'm old, man.
Yeah. Got a little pepper in that beard.
It's getting grayer by the day.
Yeah.
So then he gets the key cards, and he takes us to 3 different floors, like office floors, 22,000 square feet of flooring with huge windows. And when you're looking out the windows, you're looking at the heart of downtown, man, where I cried out to God so many times, like, God, we need something in the heart of downtown to gather people. And we look at 3 floors, But the third one we looked at was the 7th floor. So all the prophetic people, they ding, ding, ding,
Right,
they
right,
go
right,
crazy. But it was like, as soon as we walked the floor, I could see this has to be the hospitality area. This is the prayer room. This is the encounter prayer space. This is the children's area. This is the debrief room. Like, this is the commissioning area. I could just see it and like how we could lay it out and use that whole floor. This is the staff area. And
as you're talking, we're gonna throw some pictures up. Can you send some pictures?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
So yeah,
definitely. So
it's right here. Yeah.
So he shows us the 7th floor, walks us around the 7th floor, and was like, "Hey, you think you could use this?" And I'm like, "We could." And he went down. He said, "All right, it's yours to use. I'll connect you with my business manager, the general manager of the whole property, and you guys can work out the details." And so we began to work out the details, and then we had to like get to work and design. It's kind of like Moses on the mountain, like, right? God showed him the tabernacle, and he showed him the pieces. And so God was showing us the pieces that we had to design. The Lord told us to define this space so other people couldn't. And so that it couldn't just be like a willy-nilly prayer thing, or it used to be Nestle's office, so there was still like Skinny Cow ads and cubicles and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like the Lord wanted us to define the space for what he wanted to do in each space. And so we began to go to work. We began to mobilize and to set up, which was last year 50 hours. And the Lord gave us the structure of each hour and what it looked like, kind of the bones, so the breath could, be blown into it.
Yeah.
So we could bring the body together. And what's crazy is in 2017, the thing that motivated me to call the prayer gathering is we were in the streets because of protests and rioting in our city. And we were in the midst of the chaos, being the salt and the light.
Yeah.
And I took a photo in 2017 next to the courthouse. And what was next to that was this building that we were in. And the whole thing was like, it spurred me on because I was like, man, the church isn't here. The church isn't showing up. The church isn't the salt. The church isn't the light. And that's the exact spot where I got to call the church together for 50 hours. And in the 50 hours, we read through the gospel, or we read through Acts. This year we read through the gospel of Luke, but we read through Acts, not only to pray it, but so the church would live it. And it was like, I had never sat at a boardroom table with a man of his stature in the natural, you know what I mean? And so to have that moment where the Lord put me in that place with the vision, and for them to say yes, they treat us like we're tenants. So there's like a law firm, there's other tenants on the floors and stuff, but security, I'm gonna cry, man, the general manager, like all of it, it's like they let us come in and use this space like we got a 5-year lease, you know what I mean? But they're just have the space, and they believe in the vision of what we're doing. And so we get to call the church together over the last couple of years. And it's hard not to contend in prayer when you're looking over your city. Right. The historic landmarks, and you're on the 7th floor, and the bodies coming together, and we're just so grateful for them. And we're contending in prayer for their business, that God would bless and multiply and fill up those floors and just have a kingdom impact in that sense too.
Come on.
So,
Kurt, if people want to connect with what you're doing, number one, what does that look like? If it does look like anything. Yeah,
I mean, we also host like weekly prayer walks, and we go to the worst parts of town. And so we do both. Like we're like citywide big gathering, but we're like in the rough parts of town where people don't go every Saturday with a small team and prayer walking and giving out food and praying for the drug addicts and the prostitutes that are shooting up in plain sight, where people call it ground zero and nothing can be done here. And so, the people can come for like a weekend to kind of hang with us and discover what's going on and what we do and be a part of things. And but there's like weekly prayer rhythms, and then there's like the yearly prayer rhythm as well. Yeah. And so,
how can they connect?
They can connect on prayforthelou.org.
Prayforthelou.org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Instagram, Pray for the Lou as well. So that's the name of what we do. So we it's fun because we get to carry the Iris DNA under a banner that makes sense to the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're going to go low, we're going to slow, we're going to stop, we're going to go to places no one else wants to go.
Yeah.
So,
can I ask you a question about St. Louis?
sure.
You mentioned the riots,
Right.
4 years ago?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah. Wow, is it that long?
Well, we had 2014 and 2017.
Okay.
We've had a lot, several.
And you are obviously not a black man.
Yeah.
You are the
True
exact
story.
opposite.
Yeah.
Like I've met a lot of people that do missions and serve. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I love this about you because like you're this package that like I would expect, at some like truck rally.
Yeah. Or WWE event.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing in a predominantly black community trying to unify the church?
Yeah. I think it's just Jesus. He likes to use the foolish things, and we're just saying yes. But really, we've built bridges. We've spent time like meeting pastors and bishops and apostles and leaders in small non-denominational inner city churches, and like serving them and showing up at their events and listening to them and trying to understand better the culture, but also just like. One of my bishop friends, sometimes he's like, man, Kurt will go where you guys won't even go in your own neighborhoods.
Wow.
And so it's sort of this weird thing of this, like, no one's thinking it's a good idea, like we should have this or you should do this or you should go there, but they also know, like, man, these guys just keep showing up. Like, they're just going to keep showing up. They're going to, if it's snowing, they're showing up. If it's raining, they're showing up. Like, there's no back down. Like, they're praying as hard as they were 8 years ago, even though now there's more people. There's like, 72 hours and all these people, but they're praying like there was 5 people, and like they won't back down, like they haven't changed course. And again, I think it's humility, it's honoring, it's trying to strengthen the church. Man, some of my bishop friends, they're like working multiple jobs and like just pulling it together and just being with them. And then once one is for you, then they open up other doors for you as well. Like, and they see you're praying, they see your heart, and I feel more alive, more welcome in the black church, just because it feels more like Mozambique. It feels like Africa. It feels more just that real, raw, anything goes. Like in Mozambique, you might have a wedding, then you might have this, then you might, and it's just like. Man, I was born for this.
Community.
Yeah.
It's not show up at 10, leave at 11,
No.
15.
It's the event culture. Like, we're here for it.
Right.
And so
it's community.
It's a unique thing. But it's what we do in missions, right? Like, anytime as a missionary you drop into a different culture, you're not from that culture.
Right.
And so that's how I view it. I'm from St. Louis, but we look at ourselves as missionaries to St. Louis, and I just happen to be in a lot of the African American communities, because those are some of the rough places that have been neglected, forsaken, and forgotten.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, we're not going to like sit by and do nothing. We got to do whatever we can do.
I think, unfortunately, some of the church, right, when the riots were going on, when all this is happening, I think some of the church is very, very quick to judge and point the finger.
Yeah.
I think we do this a lot, even with like homelessness.
Yeah.
Right? We're like, you should get a job, and the Lord only helps those who help themselves, which isn't in the Bible, by the way. And I think, unfortunately, the church can become a massive hindrance when God is doing something and God is moving. What have you, as you navigated being in those times of where there was the riots and there was a cry for justice?
Yeah.
What did you learn?
I learned that it's a deep pain. There's a lot of pain. In those moments, everyone wants to have an answer, but you really have to be willing to listen and hear what's going on, and hear the pain, and hear the people that like, here we go again, or this is happening again. And again, in those moments, I was so broken. Jesus said that the church would be a hospital for the sick. And here are all these people, man, they're hurting and they're broken. They're sheep without a shepherd, right? And like, the salt and the light wasn't there. We weren't in those spaces to be present. It's like, it's clear in Mozambique, like when a cyclone hits, what do? Like we run in.
Yeah.
Man, we run in, but like this was like a spiritual cyclone and we weren't running in because we don't know what to say. That's another thing. We don't know what to say. We don't know what to do, but what we do know is Jesus would be there and we need to show up, right? Like we need to be present and trust the Holy Spirit will lead us, even though it's really hard, it's really challenging. We might not like maybe what's being said. It's chaotic, but we've also found when we do run in and we're just present, that the Prince of Peace shows up.
Yeah.
And sometimes like we'll be in those like we've been in those environments where the protesters, the rioters, like it's pretty crazy, but nothing's violent. And the moment 5 of us, 10 of us believers leave, it pops off. It gets crazy. Something escalates to a level. So we got like, blessed are the peacemakers, for the sons of God. Not peacekeepers, but makers. Like we make it. We step in. We stand in. We talk about standing in the gap in like a prayer world, but it's like a real on the ground thing. Yeah. So it's just a constant learning, listening.
I was just studying this concept of what it is to be a peacemaker in the scriptures, and it was beautiful. I'd always looked at those verses as like, you're very peaceful, right? You go in and it's like you carry peace about you, but that's not what it is. It ties in with the Torah. It ties in with the oral tradition in the Jewish culture, where it was more of a rabbinical job, right? Wherever there was chaos, they would come in and they would even negotiate.
Like a hostage negotiator.
Yes. And blessed are those ones that go in and do that bring peace. And what I loved about it, a lot of the stuff that I was reading was surrounding marriage, right? Because you need a peacemaker from time to time. But both sides give. It was the peacemakers were the ones that found the things where both sides give. It wasn't taking a side. And I just love that. Can you go in to any situation and be neutral and being like, nobody wins if they get their way. Let's find some common ground. And I think specifically, especially in the church, we become so legalistic that we're not willing to bend. But God raises up peacemakers to go.
Another way I like to think of it, to remind myself and to encourage myself, is I'm a bridge builder.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like people don't come to Nashville and say, oh man, I can't wait to see that bridge. But if the bridge was out to get between two places and it took you 6 hours longer to get there, you would realize, man, there needs to be a bridge here. And then no one's like, oh man, I'm excited to like go meet the people on the other side. Like we're building bridges sometimes for where people don't even want to go. But we know the Lord wants to connect these people. He wants to connect these places. Yeah. And we're getting kind of trampled on from both sides. But eventually, God gets the glory because he's building connections between peoples and communities. And again, it's we're gonna go through Samaria. We're not gonna go around. Like every city has their Samaria. Like you don't go there. You don't go there at that time. Yeah. But like, man, as believers, Jesus wants us to go there. He wants us to be there.
Dude, you're hitting all the things I've been studying lately. Samaria was hated, but they were part Jewish. And they were hated. Yeah. They were despised. In fact, Jesus said, what did he say? He said, you dishonor me, or you disrespect me by calling me a Samaritan. Are you from Samaria? Right? They were passing by, and the disciples come back. They're like, hey, should we call down fire? They rejected us. Like, and Jesus wasn't like, how dare you even say that? He was like, no. Like, Samaria was added into the Great Commission.
It's a third part,
Right.
It's there.
And if you look back, it's history.
Yeah.
It's the Jews, they came back from the Exodus. And I mean, there's a lot of theories, and I'm not a scholar. But it was some that thought that were left behind. And the major difference from what I know was that they believed that Jesus was returning, or God was returning on their mountain, not in Jerusalem. I think that's one of the major differences. It's like, we believe God's coming here. You believe God's going there. And there,
Yeah.
of course, there was other disagreements in theology, but they were Jews. They were the same.
Yeah.
And just hatred and build up to the point where, they're looked at as the most hated group in the Bible, at least in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked
and a chunk of the Old too.
You talked about earlier, you're a white guy going into these black communities. I've had more prayer lines on street corners better than altars. I've had people pull over their cars, get out, not ask my name, not ask what I'm doing, walk right up to me and say, will you pray for me?
Come on.
And when you show, like, people recognize real heart and real compassion and, the authenticity of, like, it's Jesus. Like, we want Jesus to be known and seen here, and love you. And so it's so important.
What are some of the miracles you've seen, or some of the craziest things that stick out to you over the years?
Man, well, one time, one of the craziest stories was we were praying in the area that they call Ground Zero, like this is the worst place you can go. And we've been praying there for a while, but we were debriefing our team. A car pulls over. A guy gets out of the car. He's got like hospital tubes, like breathing tubes on him. He walks up to me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "We're here praying." He said, "Well, I just got out of the hospital, but you got to know, when John the Baptist came, he said, 'Repent, the kingdom's at hand.' And I had to like tell you this message and like to keep going and doing what you're doing." Well, the funny thing is, like, no matter where I go in the world, people always like, "Oh, you're like a John the Baptist." Like that's what obviously how I look, but like just who I am, right?
Yeah.
And so this random guy, he's like, "What is it going to take for this place to change?" And I was like, "Man, people are going to have to care." And so he was like trying to leave, and I'm like, "No, dude, like you're going to pray for me right now. Like you're praying for me right here. Whatever you got, whatever God sent you, like pray for me right now." So he prays for me. I pray for him. When I go to pray for him, he takes my hand, he puts it on his heart, because it was probably whatever issue he was dealing with in the hospital.
Yeah.
I pray for this man. He drives off. I never see him again. At that same time, this big black SUV pulls up, this leader from this organization of the city. Now, we've been praying in this area. This area is known as like as low as you can go. There was a by-the-hour motel sitting right there that years ago my wife and some other ladies rented a room for an hour to go pray in it at night, because we knew like this is the worst part of town. When they went to pray in it, there was already scripture on the paneling wall in the room that they rented. And, we go all over the world and on these outreaches, and we plant these tent stakes like, hey, we just believe in this is like for the Lord. They put one of those in the wall. So here we are a couple years later. It didn't make sense why we even were there. That was like years before. We didn't live on that side of town. This random guy gives me the word. SUV pulls up. It's a city leader. He goes, "Hey, I got 300 students coming from the high school right now. They're coming to clean up this whole area right now. They're like gonna come clean it up."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Man, we've never seen, like, there's trash everywhere. There's needles, It's just like in the natural, no one cares." This leader was like, "Hey, Kurt, I just want you to know, like, this area is ground zero in St. Louis. Like, if you want, like, low as you can go, right here. This is it." And that's when we began prayer walking there every week.
Wow.
And eventually and then we found out a couple months later that mile, which you've been there when you came to the tent.
When we did the tent meeting, yeah.
That mile was one of the deadliest in America related to gun violence, like a mile stretch there. And so we decided, like, no, everyone calls this ground zero, but we're going to call it holy ground. And so we did a holy ground dedication ceremony, which we just made up. We don't know what it is, but we just like felt like we were supposed to like stake the land for the Lord. And we bought all these yard signs that said "now entering holy ground," because people drive recklessly. There's accidents. I got stories for days of people that wouldn't cross the road to go to this bus stop.
It's beautiful down there, though.
Yeah, it's historic. It's a historic area where our original baseball stadium used to be for the Cardinals back in the day. And so, we dedicate that, and we're praying. And eventually, long story really, really short, eventually that hotel got closed down.
Yeah.
The liquor store got closed down. A former club that was like half broken, and it was sitting there dilapidated. One day we rolled up, and the city said, "We're tearing it down, making it into an empty lot." And so these things began happening, and then someone bought the hotel, and they want to turn it into like a rehab facility. They're not done yet. They're going to call it the Eagle's Nest. Well, it was ground zero, as low as you can go,
Yeah.
but now it's the eagle's nest, as high as you can fly.
Come on.
Like to give hope and
Yeah.
restoration. And so
Yeah.
the Lord just told us to like hold the ground, like this is holy ground, but like plow the ground for whatever's to come. And so that's been, I just told those few stories, but that's 5 years of believers, a handful from all different denominations who don't live in those neighborhoods, to show up every Saturday on Christmas. It don't matter.
Wow.
Snowing, raining, different denominations, who is beautiful because they like carry this Iris heartbeat. They've never been to Mozambique. They might not even know who Iris is. They're ministering to the drug addict. They're ministering to the one there. And it just, like, God's just answered like prayers in the natural.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful to see, because the prayer isn't fun. It's not exciting. People aren't like, ooh, man, if I could fund anything, let me fund prayer. You know what I mean? Like, no, they want to sponsor a kid or whatever they want to do. But we just continue to go and continue to see God show up, both in one of the hardest places and then being in this immaculate downtown skyrise building with the church. So,
Kurt, you have always inspired me. Always. Your obedience is addictive to get around, man. The simplicity. But honestly, it's not just you, it's your wife.
No,
Brooke.
she's I wouldn't be sitting here without her.
Brooke is, I wish she was here with you.
Yeah, me too.
Brooke is so much better than you. No, I'm just kidding.
I would say she is.
She is. I don't know how to describe her. She's so raw, so real, so faith-filled, but so much fun at the same time. Like she's just 10 out of 10.
Yeah. She's like fun, and she's fierce, and she's like justice. Like she's like, when there's an injustice in someone's life and they're not getting all of God or a situation, she's coming for it.
I'm scared of your wife in the best way. So, which I want you to talk about something really quick, because you guys just finished an event.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We finished not too long ago.
Yeah. And was it the last day?
No, so we just did 72 hours of nonstop worship and prayer.
I was somewhere.
You were out of the country, I think.
I was out of the country.
Yeah. And so we haven't even really shared the story, but March 14th, 314. So eventually when I prayer walked all those 79 neighborhoods, I asked what's next, and the Lord said, what would it look like for the church to do this on the same day at the same time? And so that's how Pray for Lou was born. We picked 314 of 2020, right before COVID. 314 is our area code, so this is tie into our city. And so that day we filled 79 neighborhoods with prayer walking and gathered as the church to worship right before COVID shut everything down. So for 6 years on 314 and days surrounding, we've been uniting the church to contend for the city. Well, this year on 314, we were like 24 hours into our 72. It was going amazing. Everything was scheduled. The team was there. We had Irish people in to support us. I mean, it was just going great. And in St. Louis, we're kind of in tornado alley, so there was tornado warnings. And so we're trying to figure out what to do and best case scenarios. So Brooke and the kids were at the building where we were, but they went across the hotel to like go to bed early. And I was leading the event. And the sirens go off. And so I already had a plan. I got everyone in this hallway away from all the windows.
Yeah.
They just continued to worship. Brooke's calling me. She's like, hey, we had to go down 9 flights of steps. They're taking everyone in the hotel down to the basement. What are you guys doing? I said, I got everyone in the hallway. So it was a little chaotic. And then she calls me and she says, hey, we just got a call from her brother who was staying at our house. And they said they were sitting on the couch and a tree just fell through the house.
We're going to put a picture up.
Yeah, we got pictures for
right
sure.
Here.
It's the craziest thing you've ever seen. And the tree fell on 314, the day that we've been contending for the city for 6 years. And my brother-in-law and his friend who was there hanging out with him, they were sitting on the couch, and the sliding glass door, which was in the back of the house where the tree came from, exploded and shattered. Somehow they got off the couch, and the tree fell into the living room, into the kitchen, through the roof, like almost 3/4 of the way through the roof. And then another tree fell on the side of my garage, and then it just poured rain into my house while we were contending for the city.
Now, I remember, what was it, 3 years ago? When did you buy the house?
2021. So almost 4 now.
Almost 4 years ago. And dude, that was such a big faith step for you.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
And this was it was like your dream house.
Yeah, it was like a refuge because we were like ministering in hard places. And
you guys used to live in the straight up.
Yeah, we were in a rough part of town and ministering in a different rough part of town. And so in 2021, we got a house for more of a refuge, kind of farther out. And I renovated it myself because,
dude, I remember.
Man, they smoked in it for 40 years. So it had the wrong fire in it. It wasn't the fire of God. It was nicotine smell. So spent 10 weeks just renovating it, And here it is. It just gets blasted in a moment. This huge oak tree just boom right through the whole house. So
now I'm asking you to share this because number one, you did not ask me.
Right.
I started seeing the photos, dude, and you know me.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna. What can we do? How can I help?
Right.
The moment I started seeing these photos, I was out of town. I don't remember where I was. I think I was in Asia. And the whole entire time I was like, God's going to do something massive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even called you.
You called me later, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tried to touch base.
But like, I just knew that this thing was going to work out.
Yeah.
How are things going?
Things, we're working on with the insurance to get the house rebuilt, but the Lord provided a different house through the ministry that we kind of partner with, and we're in an office. And so we're in a good place. We're in a place where we get to rest and rebuild, which is nice.
So this is almost 2 months later.
Yeah, we're 7 weeks removed from it. So it's been quite we after the tree fell, we spent that night at the hotel where we were. We went out to the house the next day to see what was going on. And then we went back to the event and we worshiped for another 40 hours.
Yeah.
Like we're going to go worship Jesus. And it's kind of, I just laugh because if the enemy is going to bring a tree to my house on 314 in my city, I just felt like, okay, you're going to try to do this in my city. Now I want to take the nation.
Yeah.
Like now I want to raise this up in cities and see cities worship Jesus all across the nation.
We need to make a pulpit out of that tree.
Man, it's still in my backyard.
Is it?
Yeah, part of it is.
Okay, we're going to save it.
Okay.
Seriously. I got a guy that has a mill.
Man.
And we'll roll it down. We're going to build something incredible.
Man, that would be awesome.
It's an oak, right?
Yeah, it's a huge oak. Yeah.
Dude, we're going to do this. I just took a tree from the property down below because I believe God's going to give it to us.
Oh, come on.
I asked permission and I made it into shelves.
Nice.
And stuck it on my wall so I can look at it and pray over it.
Man, that would be so cool.
We need to make like a pulpit.
Come on.
Something.
Yeah, it needs to be something.
Out of this tree.
Yeah.
Okay? If you live near St. Louis and you have a sawmill,
yeah,
and you have the ability to come and pick up this log,
yeah,
so we don't have to haul it out to Tennessee because that's a lot. I want you to reach out to Kurt. How can they reach out to you?
KurtW at irisglobal.org.
KurtW.
KURT.
KURTW at irisglobal.org.
Yeah.
We need to do something with this tree.
For sure.
We need to like make a flipping table out of it or something. So you can just sit and get fed.
It's the table in the presence of my enemies, man.
Bro, this thing's not going to take you out.
Yeah.
You guys know me. I do not normally ask you to do anything. I always, of course, I encourage you, but like Kurt and Brooke are gold. They are gold. And they have lived their whole lives. They've served Iris. They continue to serve. You just heard his heart, right? God is opening up doors. And I know God has something really, really beautiful planned in the midst of this. But there are a lot of you husbands and wives that are watching this. You understand that intercessor call. You understand that call to just live your life in prayer. And everybody sows into the cyclones. Everybody sows into the poor, the sick, the needy, and the hungry. But when something like this happens, people aren't like, oh, like you said it, they want to. But as you've been listening to this, I want to encourage you to sow into Kurt and Brooke. They have been giving their lives faithfully. And so if you want to, this is different than the ministry.
Yeah.
You can email him. You can reach out directly.
Yeah.
Do you need anything practically? Because this is probably going to come out. I don't know, a month, maybe 2 months after right now, just because we have so many lined up.
Well, practically, we need a van. We need a family car because our family car got taken out by a deer in the fall. And so we've been one car in it and 3 kids in the middle rows like crazy. So like we need a van for real, just for life. And
I love that.
So that's the one practical need. Okay. Otherwise, like we're in a home, insurance is working with us. The body of Christ in St. Louis has been really good to us.
Dude, but this thing has to be better than the way that it left.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I just want to encourage you. Reach out. How do they reach out?
You can send me an email, KurtW at irisglobal.org.
Yep. Yeah. And if you want to give into the work, into the ministry that they're doing, and I'm sure even for a van, they can get a tax receipt for that donation. You can email him, or you can also give through Iris Global, and you can just go down a little giving.
It's in
center.
there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Kurt, you're a boss. I just love you, dude.
Man, I love hanging out with you and going on adventures and just seeing Jesus show up.
Come on.
And having fun too. Eating good food.
Eating great food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're about to do that because we're gonna be hanging out the next few days.
Yeah.
Kurt, can you pray for people that are watching this, that the Lord would just touch them? You sweat whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look down this barrel right there, and I'm gonna give you the last few moments here.
Yeah.
Connect with them, reach out. If you're in St. Louis, help them out. I'm telling you, if you got a sawmill and you're in the St. Louis area, please reach out. We're gonna take that tree and do something amazing with it.
Come on, man. I want to say nothing is impossible for God. So whatever you're praying into, whatever you're believing for, whatever you've been laboring for, God is with you. If God is for you, who could be against you? And Jesus, I just ask right now for everyone listening, God, for everyone watching, that your Holy Spirit would just fill them up right now where they're at, God. You would fill them to overflowing. You would say to them again, call them by name and say, come follow me, that whatever it is he's called you to do, he's asked you to do it, that you would do it wholeheartedly, that you would love him with everything within you, and you'd love your neighbor as yourself. And I just want to declare to you today that nothing is less than. If it's Jerusalem, awesome. If it's Judea, awesome. If it's Samaria, amazing. If it's the ends of the earth, great. If it's all of it mixed together, God, I thank you. God, I thank you that you're worthy of it all, that you're the King of kings and the Lord of lords, and your name is above every other name. God, I thank you that you are peace in the storm. God, I thank you for a kingdom that's unshakable, for a king that's on the throne, God, for a chief intercessor that's making intercession for us right now. And when we don't know what to pray, there's a spirit in us that groans, God. So I'm asking, God, even right now, that you would release a hunger, God, to see a city, to see a neighborhood, to see a family transformed by the power of the gospel, by love, by Jesus, by the King, by the one who laid down his life, by the one who was nailed to the tree. God, I thank you that you're breathing, you're alive in America even today, God. And I just pray that you will fill people up and send them out, God. I even pray for those, God, that you've already showed them you need to go minister in this neighborhood. It's overlooked, it's neglected, God. I pray that they will go, they will take steps of faith, they will get the Joshua, they will get the Caleb, and they won't say there was giants in the land, we don't know what to do, but they'll say, surely the Lord has given us this place, God. And they'll go stand in humility, but they'll stand with a boldness and a faith, and be strong and courageous. I just encourage you today to be strong and courageous, and to know that the Lord is with you. He is with you, and there's more that are with you than what are against you. And what the enemy meant for evil, God meant for good. And God, we thank you for your kingdom come, your will be done, your glory, God, your glory across America, your glory in our families, your glory in our businesses, your glory in our neighborhoods, God. And I just thank you, God. I pray for a great strengthening. I pray even today there's those that today something in what we talked about, God, will encourage them, and it'll put them on the path that you've called them to go, God, that maybe before they had fear, but today they'll have faith to step over the line and say, here am I, God, send me Send me to that place. Send me to those people. I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm not gonna wait. I thought I needed the finances, but I have Jesus and the Holy Spirit. I'm gonna go. I thought I needed the influence, but I have the favor of God, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna lay my life down in this place. I'm not gonna bounce from one thing to the next to the next. I'm gonna set my face to Jesus and set my hand to the plow, and I'm not gonna look back. And so, God, I bless them today. God, strengthen them. God, I pray they won't grow weary in doing good, but in due season, they will reap a harvest. You said we are appointed for fruit that remains, God. And so we want to walk in that. We want to live in that. We want to abide in that. And God, I bless them. God, I bless them to run with you and run into places and meet other believers and other denominations, God, and sit at your feet for one purpose, to lift up your name, just like we're going to do with every nation, tongue, and tribe, which you ransomed by your blood. And so, God, we give you the glory today. God, I thank you. I bless you in the mighty name of Jesus.
Kurt. Bro, you're amazing.
Well, we had to turn it into a prayer gathering a little bit.
Of course.
That's how it's got to end, right?
Dude, you're amazing. I love you, Kurt.
Love you.
Listen, guys, go follow these guys. So into them. If you're in St. Louis, come visit them.
Yeah.
And, man, we will see you on the next episode of the Iris Global Green Room. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow these guys, do all the things. Love you guys. We'll see you next time with another episode. Bless you guys.